Hey book lovers, my name is Em and I want to talk about books. And cats. Hey book lovers, welcome back. Sorry again for the erratic episodes, but all of my creative time right now is being taken up by editing this short story collection. I'm also fleshing out a new book idea and kind of editing the first half of it because I haven't actually finished it. But I took such a long break that I feel like I have to go back through the story before I can continue because I did get pretty far into it. It's a long book. Longer than my usual stuff anyway. I'm a pretty short writer. Also in stature. Anyway, I do love when I'm busy with writing projects. It makes me happier than just about anything else. It's one of the things that has stuck with me my entire life. I recently had a crisis moment where I kind of questioned every choice I had ever made and whether I had wasted my whole life writing things that almost no one will read. But honestly, it passed pretty quickly. Writing is in my blood. I've never wanted to do anything else. Like I said, it's the only thing that has been a consistent goal through my entire lifetime. I guess at least I'm doing what I enjoy most, regardless of who sees it. I am very slowly learning to release the need for validation from others. It is very hard, and I think that we do need some amount of it just as human beings. But as with everything else, I tend to take it to the extreme. I won't take full blame for that one, but it is mine to heal as much as I possibly can. And I truly love writing. I really can't imagine not doing it daily. Although I have had some very long stretches where that was not possible, I always try. I am a true word nerd, and as such, I love cool etymology. And I recently saw this very cool Instagram post from Susie Dent. She's a very cool lady who is an etymologist, and she's also super funny. I first saw her on some British TV shows like Countdown and 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown, I believe, which are absolutely great if you're a word nerd and you love comedy. I highly recommend. Anyway, this is a post about the word sarcasm, and I thought it was really interesting. So the word sarcasm has a dark history. It comes from a Greek verb meaning to tear flesh, and it references the caustic nature of a sarcastic remark, which could bite through the skin of the target, which I thought was kind of a cool thing. It's also a cousin to the word sarcophagus. The word for the stone coffins translates to flesh-eating because they used to use limestone because it would rapidly decompose the body inside. I don't know. How cool is that? I thought that was so interesting. I love etymology, and when I found Susie Dent, I got into it even more. I love the way that she delivers information. You get all of the facts, but she's really funny about it. I don't know. I love her sense of humor. Anyway, lots of words lead to books, and this week I want to talk about the book We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer. I'm really sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I listened to this one as an audiobook as well, and it was excellent. It was mostly done by one narrator, but there were chapters in between the main plot that were read by another narrator. And I liked this because it gave a nice and honestly confusing separation between the two things that were going on in this book. And I know that I'm being confusing and vague, so let me try to explain a little more. The main story is broken up by short sections detailing seemingly random things. Evidence, maybe? It's a confusing aspect to the book, which adds to the already confusing nature of the story. So, what is the story? It takes place in a big old house on a somewhat isolated mountaintop. There are a few sparse neighbors, but the closest one is a 10-minute walk away. Eve and her girlfriend Charlie have just purchased the house and are moving in. They are house flippers, and they're hoping to turn it over for a good profit. Even just the land will be worth plenty, and the women are contemplating whether they should fix all the problems in the house or just level it and start over. So Eve is a very anxious person. Charlie is the backbone of their pair, but they are very much in love. They have a dog named Shiloh to round out their little family, and they seem to be on the verge of something wonderful. One night before Charlie gets home from town, someone knocks on the door, and despite her paralyzing fear, Eve opens it. A family greets her. The father, Thomas, introduces himself and explains that he grew up in the house and asks if they can look around. They're moving east from the Pacific Northwest and stop by on their way. Eve, while terribly anxious, is also a huge people pleaser. I can sympathize. And she feels like she has to let them in. She does try to send them away at first, but the little girl, Jenny, is so disappointed that Eve finally relents. So Thomas, Jenny, Paige, the mom, and the two boys, Kai and Newton, begin a tour of the house, and Eve finds herself following along, growing more and more interested in Thomas's stories. The requested 15 minutes is stretched into hours when Jenny runs off and decides it's time to play a spontaneous game of hide and seek. Thomas insists that they wait her out, and Charlie arrives home before they leave. A snowstorm leads to a closed bridge, and the family is stranded for the night. And the impromptu sleepover is the beginning of a wildly perplexing story that has so many twists and turns that your head will spin. The confusion continues throughout, and you'll never quite be certain what is real, what is madness, and what might actually be paranormal. This book honestly went all over the place. I did not expect it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is confusing, but it is done in the absolute best way. I highly recommend We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kliewer. Again, I'm very sorry if I'm messing up your name. At some point, I want to check out the movie version that is now on Netflix of this same story. And maybe it'll be on a future episode. Stay tuned. So, over in Catsland, I got the most random thing from my son the other day. He has started a new job, and on his breaks, he will go to nearby stores and check things out. And one day, he went into TJ Maxx, and he found these adorable random little toys, and he got me one. And it is an orange cat sitting on a Roomba. And it's a tiny little thing. You just wind it up, and it, zips all over the place. It does, do weird stops and, turns around and stuff if you have enough space. The first time I did it, it just shot off the table. It goes really fast. It's just a silly little cat-related thing that I thought I'd tell you guys about. I will try to include a picture of it on Instagram with the episode. It also came with this weird little book that had a quiz about your cats and then a little cat mantra, and I don't know. It was just a fun little thing. Have you ever just gotten a random cat related thing that was just a little I don't know, tchotchke basically, but it's just it just makes your day? It really brightened my day, and I've been needing that lately. The holidays are always a little tough, and it's getting a little tough. Anyway, this week's quote of the week is actually going to be a short piece written by the poet L.E. Bowman. I found it on their Instagram, l.e.bowman.poetry. You should definitely go check that out. And I just thought this was really beautiful. So here we go. If you want to see true grit, watch someone break. Then watch as the pieces settle, as hands begin moving, as a new person is made. Truer words, right, book lovers? I like the word grit. It feels like the perfect choice for describing someone who is strong enough to continue on after breaking, for sure. Excellent word choice. So yeah, on Instagram, check out L.E. Bowman Poetry. I really enjoyed it. So that is all for this episode, book lovers. I hope you are having a beautiful start to the holiday season, or at least surviving it if, like me, maybe it's not the best time of year. I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you read some good books, snuggle some cute cats if you want to, or any animal of your choosing, really. And I hope you have something small just brighten your day. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, keep reading.